Around 250 players are drafted by the NFL every year. Sometimes they're terrible, but other times they could be the general manager's biggest blessings. Here are the best contracts in the NFL right now. After Kirk Cousins was drafted out of Michigan State by Washington in 2012, Cousins made a move to Minnesota ahead of the 2018 season. Heading into the ongoing campaign, the Twin Cities decided to extend Kirk through the 2023 season to a one-year, $35 million contract. Despite not often being included among the NFL's elite signal callers, Kirk has been a consistent quarterback, throwing 25 touchdowns in each of the past 6 seasons. Although postseason success has eluded him in Washington or Minnesota, he provides a reasonable stability level and poise at the QB position that most teams around the league only wish they had. It may not be a foremost concern for fans outside the land of almost 10,000 lakes, but in terms of the league's contracts, Cousins is a pioneer. Kirk is the first QB to sign a fully guaranteed multi-year contract, an $84 million pact with a 3-year duration, covering the 2018 through 2020 seasons. And Kirk's most recent extension for 2023 is his 3rd consecutive fully guaranteed contract. The 3 total $180 million in salary value dating back to 2017. Kirk's $35 million one-year extension places him 10th among QBs in average annual contract value, while his $200 million plus in career earnings are more than lucrative for a 4th-round pick from over a decade ago. After considering the 2022 compensation, Kirk is ranked 11th in on-field earnings among NFL players all time. The next player on our list is considered one of the league's finest players. Aaron Donald is regarded by many as the best footballer in the NFL when it comes to his relative positional value. So it's no surprise that he's on the list. Donald could easily be the most paid player in the NFL if the defensive tackle position were to be held in higher regard. Although Aaron's salary for the season is only $1.5 million, he also earned a $5 million roster bonus earlier in the offseason. Also, $17.5 million in prorated signing and structure bonuses take his cap number to $24 million. Next year, Donald is projected to have a $38 million cap charge, so in 2023, we could see him on this list again. But while we can't say for sure the Rams' position on the deal, the Buffalo Bills, on the other hand, are glad to have signed Josh Allen. Buffalo Bills QB Josh Allen signed a massive 6-year contract extension set to pay him $150 million and a $43 million salary per season, the highest in the league's history before Rodgers' latest deal. Over the years, Josh has constantly improved in every one of his 4 NFL seasons, leading the Buffalo Bills to double-digit victories and playoff appearances in 3 consecutive seasons. Josh had 42 total touchdowns and a career-high 763 rushing yards in 2021. Allen also threw for 637 yards and 9 touchdowns in 2 different 2022 postseason games before the Chiefs eliminated them in the divisional round of the playoffs. Allen's contract is worth it, but can the same be said for Chris Jones? Chris is set to be the 2nd highest paid player in the league this year who is not a quarterback. Chris's cap number will be a whopping $29 million, thanks majorly to an $18 million roster bonus that became guaranteed last year. Maybe the Kansas City Chiefs could consider reducing that figure by converting it into a signing bonus. Even so, his cap number for next year is projected to be $27 million, so they might choose to not push that higher. Player on our list who was instrumental in the success of his team, and how else he could have been rewarded if not with a mouth-watering deal. Derek has been instrumental in the success story of the Las Vegas Raiders in recent years. Carr led his team to the 2021 playoffs. And guess what followed? A whopping $121.5 million extension deal for a 3-year duration earlier in the offseason. Could Derek be a fruitful investment by the Raiders? Since he joined the NFL in 2014 as a 2nd-round draft pick, Derek has featured in 9 seasons. Carr's stats have also been one of the game's very best, with 34,430 yards and 211 touchdowns. The quarterback was also selected to play in 3 Pro Bowls. We know there is more to Derek Carr, and the Raiders are on course to play him to that humongous amount. Coming up next is a player whose career experienced a positive turnaround after signing a massive deal. But how good of a player is he? Since Matthew Stafford was traded to the LA Rams in the last offseason, his career experienced a turnaround. It has simply been a life-changing trade for Stafford. In 2021, Matthew led the Rams to Super Bowl glory. This season was one of the best that Matthew has ever had, and he was also one of the league's top quarterbacks. Matthew finished the regular season with 404 completions in 601 attempts for 4,886 yards, which was good for third overall. Stafford's QB rating of 63.8 was fourth in the league overall. He tied for the NFL's lead with 17 interceptions. And that's not all. He also finished second overall in touchdowns with 41 in the regular season. His success continued into the postseason as he led the LA Rams to their second Super Bowl appearance within the space of 4 years. And what'd he get in return? He was offered a $160 million deal for a period of 4 years. This deal came immediately after the Rams' Super Bowl win. Yeah, buddy. Unlike Stafford, the next player on our list has had his impact heavily felt on and off the field in the NFL. Russell Wilson joined the Broncos in the 2022 offseason and quickly became one of the NFL's highest-paid footballers. The 9-time Pro Bowl QB signed a contract extension worth $49 million with Denver's new ownership group. After suffering a finger injury in 2021, which forced him to miss his first game, Russell made 149 consecutive regular season starts. The 34-year-old has averaged 3,987 yards for passing, 31 passing touchdowns, and 9 interceptions per 17 games played during his career. While in Seattle, Russell led his team through a decade of winning. In this time, the team secured its only Super Bowl title. After Russell was controversially traded to the Broncos, he lived up to expectations. Amidst the boos, Russell Wilson recently managed to lead the Denver Broncos to their season's first win against the Houston Texans. Russell's impact has been heavily felt in the NFL, both on and off the field. The former Seahawk works closely with the team's head coach, Nathaniel Hackett, to develop their game plans. The next player on our list recovered from an injury and put up an unbeatable stat, earning him millions in a contract deal. Although Dak Prescott didn't get to play much in the 2020 season because of an ankle injury from which he was recovering, he made his comeback in 2021, and ever since, he has been stronger than ever. Dak won the AP Offensive Rookie of the Year award. The 28-year-old QB proved he's worth $40 million with 4,449 passing yards, 37 touchdown passes, a 68.8% pass completion rate, and a 104.2 passer rating. Prescott has a career record of 53-32 as a starter, but he has gone just 1-3 in 4 postseason starts, including a 23-17 loss against the San Francisco 49ers during last year's playoffs. They say good deals don't come easy, and the next player on our list proved this right. Aaron Rodgers signed a 3-year contract extension with the Green Bay Packers that will make him the league's highest-paid player in 2022. Rodgers will be the first player in the NFL to earn more than $50 million per season, and his $150.6 million in guaranteed money is the most for a QB in the league's history as well. The 2-time reigning MVP has completed 69.8% of his passes for 8,414 combined yards, 85 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions over the last 2 seasons. Rodgers has also won 1 Super Bowl during his 17-year career with the Green Bay Packers. Aaron's consistent performance in multiple seasons shows that the Packers made the best decision to sign such a massive contract with the 39-year-old. Well, it remains to be seen if he can keep up with the sterling performance throughout his deal. It seems the Chiefs have no regrets about giving Patrick Mahomes a multi-million-dollar contract, but for how long? In his 4 years as a starter, Patrick Mahomes has been to only 2 Super Bowls and has never failed to make at least the AFC Championship game. Mahomes has averaged 5,129 yards, 41 pass TDs, and 10 interceptions per 17 games he played. Once the highest paid player in the league in terms of average annual value, Mahomes sits second regarding cap hits for 2022. Patrick's $35.8 million number is largely comprised of a $27.4 million roster bonus. To reduce his cap number in 2022, that roster bonus could be converted to a signing bonus. However, that would only increase his cap charges moving forward, and Mahomes is already at $46.8 million in 2023. So it doesn't look like the Chiefs will regret giving him the league's richest contract at 10 years, $450 million, at least not anytime soon. But what are your thoughts on the players and their multi-million-dollar deals? Click here if you want to see what Justin Herbert has been up to, or click here to see how Lamar Jackson spends his millions. Catch you in the next one.